I'm Julie Neckley, and I just wanted to make a video on the importance of letting bad things be bad. So what are bad things? Bad things are things like war, death, guns, fornication, sodomification, demon summoning, tattoos, piercings, poisons, all bodily fluids, surgery, knives, tombstones, graveyards, and skulls. And pestilence, of course. Okay, so why is it important to let bad things be bad? Oh, and I forgot to add drugs. The reason why it's important to let bad things be bad is because, let's take surgery, for example. The surgeon is violating the sacred boundary of the skin. It's not good to chop open someone's skin and then start probing inside of their body, right? It's like you're violating something that's sacred. And in my opinion, you want a surgeon who understands that, because you don't want someone who's like, I'm in the mood to do surgery. You want someone who's like, well, I don't want to do surgery, but I'll only do it if I have to. Oh, and I forgot to add porn. I'll only do it if I have to remove a greater evil. You want someone who sees surgery as being essentially an evil in itself. Therefore, they're only going to cross that sacred boundary of the skin if something truly merits it. They're not going to do it for fun. They're not going to do it for profit. They're not going to do it to relieve stress. They take it really seriously, and they're only going to do it to remove a greater evil, to address a greater evil. Because even though we tend to call it Machiavellian, if a person says the end justifies the means, that's pretty much how we end up having to live life, just by necessity. We have to choose frequently between the lesser of two evils. There's really no option, because life rarely presents us with some kind of perfect moral choice, right? But normally we do that by denying the evil inherent in our actions. Whoever we're hurting, we find a way of downplaying it, while noticing the evil in other people's actions. We're like, oh my God, slavery is so horrible, but we still basically use slave labor, slaughterhouses, etc. So we're always doing bad things. We just choose not to think about it, which is fine. I'm not saying that people should think about bad things all the time, because you would go insane. But I think that a form of insanity also develops when you redescribe bad stuff as good stuff just so you don't have to feel guilty about it. Let's say fornication, right? If a person's going to see a prostitute, maybe they need to do that for some reason, because what if they need certain nutrients, to tap into certain spiritual nutrients with their dick, and their partner in the marriage does not have those nutrients, so they have to step outside of the marriage for a greater good, right? But if they're seeing it as they're essentially doing something bad, then they're going to be violating that sacred boundary, just like surgery is a sacred boundary, and monogamy is a sacred boundary as well, right? So they're going to be violating that sacred boundary for a reason. They're going to be going in purposefully. They're going to be thinking about what they're doing. They're going to try to get the most value. They're not just fucking around like a clown, you know what I mean? And I feel the same way about pornography. If people see pornography as bad, then they will approach it in a different way. They'll be okay, I have the urge to do this. Maybe there's a reason I need to do this. Maybe this is the right thing to do. But they're going to be going in looking for answers, looking for resolution. They're not just going to be okay, this is my life. This is who I am. This is what I do for pleasure and stress release, and then come up with some philosophy. Oh, evolution evolved people to come into Dixie cups. This is just what men do. Instead, they're going to be going in with their minds turned on to gain insight, to gain answers, and to try to resolve the actual need behind their urges, right? And so then I think that leads to like a transformative process, right? Like if a person is seeing a prostitute purposefully, they're like, why am I doing this? What am I looking for? What am I trying to gain? Then they go on a journey, they potentially transform and come out the better. If they're like, there's nothing wrong with this, then they come out dumber. They come out more like a clown than they were before. You don't like fuck around on the dark side, right? Like there's a time to summon demons. Like maybe you have to stop a serial killer and summoning demons is your only option, but you don't summon demons just for fun or because you're bored. It's like bad things are things you have to take seriously, and you only cross that sacred barrier between good and bad when you have like a real reason. And some people don't want to think of things as bad because they have issues with shame, right? And by saying, oh, it's not bad, then they think they won't have to feel shame. But I mean, the reality of life is that like we are basically forced to do bad things to survive. No one can get around it. Like, you know, vegans like kill tons of insects, and insects have just as much of an inner life as animals. I mean, plants have an inner life. It's like nobody can avoid doing bad things, like, because death is what we consider bad, and death is baked into life. Therefore, doing bad is unavoidable. So I mean, I don't think that people necessarily need to have like shame about the fact that they're a surgeon, right? Or that they're killing people as a soldier, but they need to like have seriousness about it and gravity and be like, okay, what I'm doing killing people is inherently wrong, so I need to try to do this as little, I need to try to kill as few people as possible while achieving my goal. Yeah, so basically that's it. I mean, the bottom line is that the dark side is unfortunately a necessary part of life, but it's not like a playground where you go to fuck around, to be a clown, and to have fun. I'm Julie Neckley, I think.